So today we tie another pike fly with these Mangum Tails and a little bit of orange Bucktail for the head section, and with the new Predator dubbing from Fly Dressing from Nicholas Bauer. And because they are quite long, we put a little stinger on the hook. Therefore we use a stinger hook, Eagle Claw and 2.0. Nice hook. A lot of hooks for not so much money. So we just prepare everything. Get some titanium. Just onto the hook. Take one bead. Just place it on the wire like that. And we place it aside for a second. Then we take a rattle like that one. We put some Shrinktube around so we can tie it in, and we are just melting it a bit so it will stick. It should hold. Put that aside for a second as well, and then we can start the tying. So we're tying on a Bigmouth hook in a size 6.0 using a Veevus thread, 200 denier strings. Always use white because you can paint it if you want to. So just do a few wraps on the hook shank. Cut the thread. Take a little bit of super glue. Get it on the hook to secure the thread on the shank. A few more wraps above it. And then we can sing. We tie the tail on like that. So we won't have the stinger like that. It's fine, I think. Like just like that. Just a few wraps. Perfect. And then tighten it. Make sure the end of the titanium to flip it over and then tie it down, so if the pike is pulling it, it can't just pull the titanium out of the windings. So we can secure it like that. Be careful with the endings of the titanium, they can be quite sharp and cut your thread. So just do a few safe turns around it, and then you can put on pressure again. Like that. That's good. So take a little bit of super glue, apply it onto the titanium here. And then move the bead onto the super glue, and it closes the hole in the bead, and if we want we can move it later, but it stays on the place where we want it. So we take the Mangum Tail now. Always burn the end of the tail so it's melted a bit in the front and it doesn't get untangled. Like that. First we tie in our rattle, like that, just on top, on the bottom as you want it. I usually just cut into the Shrinktube, just a centimeter, and then you can fit it perfectly around the hook shank. Underneath the titanium wire. Or maybe we make the cut a little bit longer, just a bit longer. So we can get it a bit better on the shank, like that. That's perfect. Few strong wraps to secure it. and then we got it attached to the hook, and we use a little bit of super glue, not too much though, just a bit up here. Now we can tie in the tail. That's a good length, like that. Just tie it down with a few strong, really tight wraps. Got it in position where we can just cut the end of it and tie it down as well. And that's already the base of our fly, so we've got our stinger here behind the hook. And then we do the head with some orange bucktail. Take the fibers from the front first, so that they don't rise that much. Don't take too much, just a few. Yeah, that works. Back with the thread. And just tie it in reverse. Move it with your fingers around the hook, and then you pull it tight, and they rise around the hook. Strong turns. Some people cut the end bits off. I just leave them there because they, first thing, they cover the thread wraps, which I like. And the second thing is, they don't really matter, and you don't see them later anyhow. So we take a pen tool. Oh, maybe get them a little bit further over here. Take a pen tool now. Grab the fibers, pull the thread straight up front, and do a few supporting wraps to lock the bucktail in a around 45-degree angle onto the hook. And we take more bucktail. Just use the same amount as before, maybe a pencil thickness, maybe a bit less. Tie it in the same way, turn it around the hook, and spread it by applying pressure on the thread, and do a few strong wraps. Like that. Take the pen tool again and just turn them over. And do the supporting wraps at the front again. That's good. So now we use a little bit of these orange black flash. It's the H2O flash. Just 5 or 6 strands, maybe even less as you want it. Oh, it's a bit more, never mind. Pikes never care. Just tie it in like that. And cut it on lengths. Make sure you cut on different positions so they're nicely tapered as well. Flip them over, tie them down. Now we use some more bucktail. Same amount as before. Tie it in reverse again. spread it around the hook again, pull the thread down, lock the fibers with a few strong and tight wraps. When that's done, split it a bit with the fingers, get your pen tool and fold the fibers back. Grab them, pull the thread out, and doing the supporting wraps. So another layer of Bucktail. I think we can fit 1, 2 more layers in it. Depending on the space you got there, I'm taking now a little bit less Bucktails, maybe half a pencil in thickness. Tie it in. Spread it around the hook. And now we are already at the hook eye, so that was the last layer of Bucktail. Looks good. And to get a nice tapered head now up the front and to hide the thread wraps, as mentioned before, you use the Predator dubbing. This color is Fat Cat Brown. I think it really works nice with the orange tail. So we just pull out a few fibers and grab them and then pull them apart to align the fibers. They all show in the same direction. And then we just lay it on the hook and tie it in half, like that. 2 or 3 strong wraps. And then we continue this process all around the hook. And we get all the head section covered with the Predator dubbing. So now we got all the head section covered with the Predator dubbing. And now we do some really strong thread wraps. Now we can do just any knot at the end. Get the super glue. Don't put it in here, apply it on the thread so you don't glue up the dubbing. Just get some drops on the thread and then gently get the glue around the hook like that. And we take the scissors and just cut the thread off and let it stay there forever. And then we take a brush like that. It's from the pet store. You can buy it there for 1 or 2 euros, or everywhere, each pet store on the internet. Doesn't matter. Really good for brushing heads. Like that. So now the head has a good shape. And to lock this position, I'm just using a little bit of hairspray and spray it on the dubbing, and it gives the head a little bit more strength when we glue the eyes on, and in the water all the hairspray will wash out, of course. So like that. Just need to find a few eyes and then we apply them to the fly. Always like some reddish brown colors here in this pattern. So these eyes are quite nice, 3D eyes. Just take our glue. Try and fly a bit. Just place the eyes up the front. Take another eye. Take some more glue. Place it gently on the other side. Make sure they are aligned. Just gently press it down, not much pressure. You see that the hairspray is keeping the head in place. And here we go, finished fly with a Mangum Tail. Really efficient in the water. And you got this Rattle here. Nice sound. Got the stinger. Often you have the problem with the Mangum Tails that the pikes just attacking the edge of the tail. Don't have the problem with the stinging. Really nice and effective fly.